Howdy everyone, today I'm going to run you through the setup of this 330 gallon wild Moba Frontosa tank. I will show you a little bit about how I picked it up from someone else's house, acclimated them, brought them here, moved the equipment here, the tank here, reset it up, got it reestablished, put the hardscape and sand in, and got it all running at a little bit more of a gallons per hour for filtration, and showing you the reintroduction of the fish. So yeah, that's what this video is about. I'll take you through the filtration, how I ran that, what's going on in there, and then I'll take you through how I did the hardscape, the sand, and then this top that I made up for it, along with the lighting and changing up the overflow so that way it could flow more gallons per hour. And yeah, everything that I did to this I will be walking you through here in this video. If you end up liking and enjoying the video, feel free to check out some of my other videos, look around and see what other aquariums I've got going on, and subscribe, follow, share, comment, all those things. For anybody that doesn't know, I'm Patrick Neiman, owner of Brickley's Aquatics over here in Caledonia, Michigan, just in South Kent County. And what I do is content. I do custom aquarium stands, some fish I breed, selling some babies, and overall just trying to grow the hobby and make it where there's more people in it, more people enjoying it, and just trying to make it a better place to be. I'm trying to have fun with it, and so far it's been a great time. This wouldn't have happened if somebody that was viewing one of the fish I had didn't see this and then comment me on it. So this was a recommendation from somebody that was watching my profile. We became friends, and yeah, this is the good stuff about fish keeping that I hope others get to enjoy, because without the community, without the people, then it's just a bunch of fish in a tank and it would be boring. Community is a lot of the reason why I do this. Prepping to escape this, I pulled the upside down lumber out of there. Since I'm not doing it I need to service that tank anyway. But these are from here over to here are all rocks that came from the tank originally. We've got brown rocks here, some slate. This is concrete. There's a couple pieces of big volcanic. I've got a thing of slate, or it might not be slate, but anyway. And then round river rocks over here and some more bricks. And then I've got black stones, volcanic rock, round rock, smaller round rock, bigger round rock, just stuff I've collected. I don't know if Frontosas really ever see driftwood, but I know I'm going to have a pleco in there, so I want some. I want it to look decent. I don't know. We'll see. Picked up 8 bags of sand and some plumbing hardware. Sand for the bottom. Plumbing hardware, because I'm going to redo this drain. I'm going to double the drain across and create a rain spread bar. Because you can see it flowing off the end there. Flows off the end there. I'm going to have to rework this sump system to work better. It's going to be a long video on how I set this tank up and all the fixes and nuances that I worked through with it. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I just got done carrying these in. I'm beat. There's a lot of stuff to go inside this. It's 2,600 pounds of water as is. And I've probably got another 600 pounds worth of material to go in. It'll be like a 4,000 pound tank when it's done. Alright, I got the sand all washed, and now I'm draining the tank down so I can escape it and then do the plumbing on it. Now it's empty. Time for the plan of attack to start. We are escaping the 330-gallon tank. I've got sand wash, driftwood, rocks, everything I need to escape up this 330-gallon tank. I also have to do modifications to the overflow. When I upgraded to the 2,500 gallon per hour pump, the tank would rise too much and become too full. So I'm gonna have to take the overflow, I'm gonna have to cut down a little bit on it. And then the drains I'm gonna double up because there's 2 holes in it. And I'm gonna create a rain bar to help create a better efficiency in the sump system going through. Also adding K1 media to the lower section. And yeah, there's gonna be a bit of work done on this tank over this weekend, and I'm going to make a long form video on it. I'm not the best video editor, so it's going to probably be a little choppy, but hopefully I hit all the points and I can show you how I'm doing it, do a little bit of a how-to on it, show the modifications of the sump on how to make it run more gallons than it did when it came from stock. Originally this tank was set up with a 1,500 gallon per hour pump. And if you think about it, 330 gallons divided by 1,500, that's not very much. So this tank really needed to be moving more. Ideally, I'd have about 33 to 3,500 gallons per hour going through it. But I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to modify it that way. It just doesn't have enough overflow space. I guess I could probably cut out the holes, or drill out the holes bigger and run thicker tubing to make it work. But I'm still limited on this tank to having the center overflow. There's no corner overflows like I would like ideally. You can see center overflow right there. And so the weirs are right near the top, and you can see how full it was running. There's not much extra space right there, and it just has the 2 outputs on either side. And then down underneath, it's a wet-dry system. You can see what I mean by 2 holes. So I'm going to put my drain, and I'm going to make a spray bar inside here to even it out. When it's running, the water is overflowing the ends. So I'm going to take some foam filter pad, stick it in there, so that way the center filter floss is where it's pulling up and draining through. I'm also going to take out this plastic tray and drill the holes out bigger so it flows faster. And then I'm going to put the K1 media down there. Ash is in the way. Come on, kitty. I'm going to take those heaters out and I'm going to move them. I don't want them mixing in with the K1 media. I'll put it over here with the other one. And I'm not going to touch the return yet. I think it's alright. We'll see how it runs. But yeah, when this tank was running, it was all the way up to that corner. I've also got to work on re-leveling the tank. It is off by 1/4 inch. Possibly some polishing. I'm not sure if I can actually get this checking out. It's on the outside, so I can deal with it later too. There's a couple scratches on the inside, but overall it's a really good shape of acrylic tank. Because dry, it's not hazy at all. Alright, well, I'm going to start modifying the sump and come back in a second with what I'm doing on that. Just starting up on the overflow. What I'm doing is making the weirs deeper. It's not the prettiest because I can't get my router in there. But I put the router bit inside my drill, and I can put it there, get it in the groove, and then I let the gravity of the drill do it. I go nice and slow. Alright, it didn't go as planned. It was very chippy. I'm gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna probably clean it up a little bit more, square it up a little bit more. Kind of bummed that my router idea didn't just extend these down like I thought it would. This is a lot more brittle than I thought it was going to be. It was working at first, and then then I just try to make it even from there. A little disappointed, but honestly, once you're inside the tank, it's going to be such of a small detail. and it doesn't look too bad, just that one missing right now. So I took my multi-tool here, little buzzer, and I just squared it off. I don't want to make the openings too big. There's never going to be any small fish in here other than babies, and if they go over, they're going to go over anyway. So, yep, this is how we're going to live with it. Hopefully that should be enough to flow it down a ½ inch more, I'm hoping, or more. But the only way to tell is when we get it done and filled back up and scape back up and running again. So stop there. I'm going to switch to the underside and start working on the plumbing down there. And then I'll flop back up and we'll start scaping and cleaning up my mess on the inside. And then you can see how my cut down on the weirs is working. It's just barely touching the original weir, so all the water's flowing through the lower section, which is good. If it starts to get clogged up, which it probably won't with how wide they are now, then it would flow up higher. And then the tank is down farther. It's a little off level by a ¼ inch, but it's flat, so I'm leaving it. It's a lot of work to re-level it. And yeah, I've got a cap to go back on this. Alright, so here is the top part of that sump system. This is where that filter floss was. I took it out and I threw it in the pump side of the sump. I need that, but I need a new polishing pad when I open this tank back up. So this just slides out. Whoop. So the one thing I was having was it was overflowing this tray. Now after dealing with that and dealing how brittle it is, I really do not want to crack this, so I need to figure out how to open these holes up. I'm gonna go see if I can find enough step drill bits to make it work, and yeah, we might. As you'll see in my videos, I don't really sugarcoat stuff or do blooper overs or skip over stuff. So if stuff gets messed up like that, you'll see it, you'll know about it, you'll see how I go around it. But yeah, found out my drain down here is only 1 inch, but we'll get there. Gonna put that on, split it there, because I want to run 2 sides as soon as I can out of that 1 inch, because it needs to be, it doesn't really need to be bigger. It runs fine as is, just there's not much. That's the bottleneck of the whole system now, is that 1 inch right there. But I'm not going to run much faster than it is, and with that being cut down, the tank depth is going to drop. And with that dropping, I might have to go inside and modify the overflow plumbing. But we'll get there. We'll have to see how it runs too. There might be some further modifications down the road. Just trying to, yeah. This tank was set up extremely weird with the center overflow and not having corners. It really does limit it on its capacity, only having 1 section. Having 2 on opposite sides, it can flow a heck of a lot more water than having a center. Plus this, you're hoping that that jet is enough to bring all that stuff up. And when you split it out between, I got a 2,500 gallon per hour pump on here now, so that's 1,200 gallons per hour pumping outside. That's not much. Versus if you did corner boxes, you could have had 2,500 on each side. I mean, the goal for this tank would be 3,300 gallons per hour for the fish stocking. So I'm still running a smidgen under 10 times filtration, but it'll be okay. There's not that many fish going back in it. Here's my spray bar concept loosely mounted up. I still have to cut slits into this, or I'm going to do slits instead of holes. I need it to flow a lot of water and not get clogged up. I might even just channel out this bottom section, keeping the upper tube. Whole point of it is to get the water to shoot at each other, so that way it creates more of a splash pattern, because it's not as big to do a rainfall like I wanted. One modification I had to do was I had to cut down, there's still plenty in there to glue, but I had to cut down my corners so that way when they connect through here and it pushes up tight, that it doesn't raise the spray bar so far that it gets in contact with this, to save some space. I'm sure there's an aquarium way to do it or some bulkheaded way to do it, but I've been a house carpenter forever and this is just what makes sense to my brain, so I'm DIYing it this way. Still gonna have to run out to the store. There's gonna be some parts missing obviously, but we're getting there, really close. I think I just need 190 and a T, which, or actually I got the T's, I just need the 90, which isn't bad at all. The acrylic box is just, this is the hard part about acrylic, I can't really fix it. I could probably do some gluing it back together, but you can see how bowed it is. Once it goes inside the sump tank, there's no space on the other side. I can't lift it up and down, so the only way is to pull this media tray this way to pull out the stuff there. I mean, here's what I drew up for that bar in between. I'm keeping this middle part solid, cutting out the half moons on each side. So when the water comes, it's going to be coming down this 90 and it's going to want to go straight down. So this flat bar right here is going to kick the water back vertical. Yeah, here, let me turn it for you. Water's going to come this way and want to keep dropping. So that little bar is going to push it over until it hits the other side, and they're going to splash right here and just exit out, side exit almost. I'm hoping it flows well, but we'll see how it goes. There we go. Clean up some fuzzes on it and it'll be good to go. My weapon of choice was my multi-tool and just holding it in my hand and working my way up. These end caps aren't glued, so it fell off a couple of times. But that center bar is nice and strong, and I think that'll help shoot the water out, and then this will keep it from splashing vertical. So that's the concept. We'll get it installed and then keep working on the tank. Haha, big box. K1 media. Got 3 boxes of it because I'm gonna put the sump down there. I'm gonna replace the ponds things, and I'm gonna do K1 in there too. The reason for the K1 media swap is that someone pointed it out, and they are right. It does build up gunk really fast, and it's not always good for the fish, especially with these bigger fish that deal with stuff like hole in the head a lot more. Having all that detritus is really not good for them. It's a concept. It works in some cases it doesn't. And so that's why I want to switch over to the rolling media bed. So yeah, this stuff's gonna help out a ton with that, hopefully. So that way we don't have all that buildup, and then I'm just cleaning filters instead of having to dig through the waterfall boxes. To modify these holes, I've got a brand new drill bit and my drill set to 1. And I am just going slow, not putting any pressure, just letting the drill weight do it. I've done 2 so far, so I feel fairly confident I'm not showing you a mess up. But yeah, just real slow. You don't want to go fast. Yep, and then you just keep going around and doing all the holes. I won't bore you with the rest of it. So the reason why I'm doing all this is to get more flow. I upgraded from a 1,500 gallon per hour pump to a 2,500 gallon per hour pump. And in doing so, this tray was overflowing, and it was causing the water to go past the media, and it was just skipping over the top right there and over into the other tray. So by doubling up the drains, creating this spread bar, it was just dumping straight through in one spot. So now it's turning, spraying out, hopefully creating a bigger, wider pattern on there, and then increasing the hole size so that way it drains through. This is going to have a foam pad in it, or polyfill, whatever you want to call it. It's just a polishing pad that goes in here. I need it to fall through that fast and get to the media on the bottom, but also catch it. So trying to lessen up restrictions and spread flow out to be more efficient. Well, that took an hour and 45 minutes. I was going slow, went through 2 drill batteries, but we got it. Alright, that's good. Now to start gluing everything together and putting it back. Alright, so I got it all modified. I've got my spray bar in there. I've got the holes drilled out bigger. And then the drain's going to come down into this. And I just got to rubber tube it together. And I need to go find a 90 degree. But we're getting there. Alright, I'm starting to skip over stuff. I got the sand in. But here's the sump. Just have to put hose clamps on it. Splash thing, put the pad in. I've got the ball media, and then I got the K3 underneath it. And then there's a foam pad right in between here. That's just keeping the cycle going. And then I've got a pretty good layer of sand in here now. So it's time to start putting rocks in and whatnot. I did pre-wash the sand so you can see kind of clear. It's always hard with this stuff, but it'll get good really quick. I got to get it back running pretty soon here because I don't want to leave it not running for more than 24 hours right now. Yeah, I made a mess that had water in it still, and I was messing with the plumbing, and it is what it is. So I'm gonna see if I can cut up a big stick to go in there. I want to try going end to end if I can, and then start getting some rocks in and start planting. Alright, so I mocked up some of the sticks for the scape. I think I like them right there. There's a pretty big area right here for them to do their thing. It's hard to see on camera. It's bigger in person. The sticks make it look small now, but there's a nice big open area here. I need to start putting rocks in to hold it down. I started filling the tank, but then they started floating, which I expected. I wanted to see how they floated and moved so they could settle in. So now I just need to put rocks in to stabilize this whole bit. So I pulled out and cut in half the stick that was in the 16-foot tank, and it fit in nicely. And then I grabbed a Y shape to hold the logs up and prop it up. One of them kind of curves down, one of them kind of curves up. And then I added another stick there to kind of push this log up to give it more height. So I want to use as much of the aquarium as I can to display without adding too many pieces to do it. Down at this end, I used 2 pieces of concrete. This one was an L shape. And this one's just a rock, just weight, concrete weight. And then I put slate on the rest of it, slate and Sirius stone, I think. I'm not an expert in aquascaping. Anyway, I put rocks there to cover up the concrete. And then over here I put, that's going to take a little bit. I washed the sand, but there's always still some cloud. I put brown rocks over here. And then over here I've got more slate holding down that end. And there is a nice piece of petrified wood. So now it's just time to clean it up a little bit, let it fill up. Might do a water change on it just to cycle some of the floof out of it. It's actually clearing up fairly well, so maybe by the time it gets full it won't be so bad. We'll be back once it's full, see what it looks like. Well, I had to stop filling it for a bit. This wood's all been sunk before in a tank, so I just gotta let it air out for a bit. You can see all the air bubbles coming up. Started lifting on this side. I don't see any air coming out of this side, but it'll go down eventually and it'll start weighing itself down. And I'm this is a long-term project, so it's nighttime and I'm gonna go check on fish room 1, take care of them, catch some dinner with my parents real quick. Hopefully when I come back in a few hours, the bubbling stopped and I can start adding more water again. And then hopefully I can get the filter running tonight, which is the goal. And then it can cycle all day tomorrow and hopefully it'll be nice and clear. You can already see back to those rocks, and those rocks are a good 18 inches back, so that's just where we're at for right now. I'm gonna let it sit. What up, Al? Easy night in the fish room. It's like day 3 in a row. Nothing really looks like it needs a water change. I know what my schedule is. I'm a little bit too rigorous at times, so they can go for a little bit longer without having their water change. I can get after it tomorrow. I just came over to grab some parts, check some tanks out, make sure they're all doing good. I'm gonna feed them real quick and then I'm gonna go back. I'm working on the 330 gallon all day. Alright, I'm back and I've got it full and running now. And it's looking great. A little cloudy, but that was kind of expected. Everything still has a little bit of air bubbles coming out of it, as you can see by the glass. It's all over the wood. There's air floating around. Little bubbles flowing around all over, so by morning it should be fairly clear. I'm gonna put doors on real quick and then do some videos of, or get the inside shots for everybody to see. Never mind the water. When I was doing it, it had some water come out of there and it's drying still. So anyway, so here's what I did to the sump. The drain was 1 inch. I came down and I teed it and it comes out. Did flex tube so I can take the flex tube off and pull this out if I have to, but I really shouldn't have to. It's just a just in case. And then I've got the original black bio balls. This media is not circulating like I wanted it to, and I don't think there's enough flow coming out of it, but that is doing better at keeping it in the center there. And then the bigger holes are letting that rain through. It's not falling off the ends of the box anymore. On the other side, I blocked the end with foam. It's dirty, but block the end with foam just in case it fills up. You can see how much sediment's already been collected up. It's getting better. It's still Friday the 3rd, so I got a little bit more, 2 more days until I was going to put the Frontosas in, so I'm hoping it clears up. Well, yeah, that media's not spinning like I wanted it to, so we're gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. It just means I'm gonna have to go and clean it. But you can see it's trickling through real nice now with all the different holes. So that's some modifications I made down there. Is that I needed less K3 media in there. It all ended up pulling over. Some of it turns, but I gotta get a lot out. So for now I'm running this video. I'll do this fix in the next week or 2. It's Sunday night and I need to get to bed to do some work in the morning, and it'll be an after work project. But at least it's running. Alright, you can see by my scrap that I have cut up the top pieces. I'm not going to put anything on top. I don't mind the little bit of light bleed. I'll show the lights off later eventually. The light bleed's fine. It's just the direct sight of the lights is hard to see. So you can see what I did. I made a dadoed notch for it to sit around the tank. And then both sides of the 2x4 notched, or 2x6 are notched for it. So there's a whole dado thing going on there. And then it has spots for the lights and the cords to go down. And yeah, so I just got to sand this down, paint it black, And that's the look we're gonna have right there. I like it. Got the doors back on now. Making clips for reels and doing this at the same time is getting me confused, so this is where I'm at. I've hung up the cords, Sump's running. The waterfall thingy I made is working real nice. It's not as spread out as I wanted, but it's a lot better than it was, centered. Draining through. It's not circulating the media like I wanted it to, so that's going to end up getting all gunky over time, so I'll have to figure that out, or plan on cleaning it, which that's probably a good thing why I have those up top. Then on the other side, I've got my heater, which I used warm water to fill it. Well, not warm water, it was warm enough to go 86 anyway, but got the cords hanging. Yep. Everything's all sitting up. I need to clean up the sump and get it all pretty like, and get it ready for like the actual grand reveal bit here in a little bit, but that'll give you an idea. It's clearing up right now, real nice. Lights, I've been using this little 3-foot Finex. It's been silly bright and it's lit up the whole tank. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the current USA continuously, because it does shine a lot down into the sides, so I might turn it on and off depending on how much of the tank I want to see, or if I want a darker tank. I'll probably stay up there and turn on and off as I feel like it. So yeah, I'm gonna get that painted black, sanded down, and then I'm just on a waiting timer until I can put the Frontosas in. It's almost there. I just want it as clear and nice looking as possible before I put them in, and make sure that water's healthy. So yeah, be back in a sec. Howdy y'all, I'm just sitting here waiting for it to clean up, and I wanted to give a word from our sponsors, or sponsor. There's only one sponsor, it's myself, Rick Lee's Aquatics, providing healthy and good fish to everybody at a good cost. I'm not a very good salesman. And now a word from our sponsor. Hi, I'm Patrick Neiman with Rick Lee's Aquatics, and thank you for watching what I do for content. I am my own sponsor. All of this is funded by me, and it's encouraged through my own passion for the fish, and by you guys watching and commenting and following along, the friends that I'm making along this journey. Everything is self-done. There's no sponsors really. Nobody here is being promoted because I'm being paid to. All the things that I'm promoting are because I've found it to work best for me. I'm totally qualified for this position. So thank you for watching, everybody. Peace. So the lighting I went with is this 6-foot current USA light. It's been around with me for about 4 years now. I've been a trooper, so it keeps going. I can dim it down. Then there's also this Finex 3-foot light right here that's white. And with the Finex off, this is more appropriate for the Frontosa. It really is. Sometimes it looks better with a brighter light. I can see in the tank better and see where the fish are better. But for the most part, I'm just going to run the 6-foot current USA light. I can dim it down, change up the colors, and do as I wish with it. I've got the top on, all painted up. It's just sitting. I got some sponges in it waiting. Hopefully it's going to help clear it up some overnight. You can see how it fits with the dado stack in here. I'm gonna put some poly lids on here, but I'm not gonna do it until the fish go in. I've got them right there. I just don't want to do it until the fish go in. So yeah, it's looking really good. Got the cover on there. Once I have the tops on, it's gonna be really well sealed off. Even the sump section down here, I found a little lid for it, so that's all covered up now. And that's, yeah, it's all just on its own running, doing really well. Really happy with how it turned out. The top I'm planning on replacing at some point. I just wanted to get it on for now so that it wasn't blinding the camera. I'm not exactly sure what I'll do. The bottom's all oak, so I guess eventually I'll have to build an oak top for it. The hard part is I don't want to seal it off, because even with lids on here, there's going to be a lot of humidity. That's why I went with the wood that I did, is so that way it didn't rot out easy. It's going to hold up to the humidity a lot better than the plywood that originally was. And yeah, took the time to clean up the current light a little bit better. It's not perfect, it's caked on there, but yeah, I'm real happy with it now. We'll get fish here in a second. I don't want to scare her, but she let her babies out. I don't know how many there are, and I don't know how many she's eaten, but I think they're supposed to be fairly good parents, right? Sorry, today's moving day for her, so that's awesome. So then I don't have to strip her of babies. She already did it for me. There we go. It's all together. Cleaned up. Wish it was a little bit less hazy, but it's healthy for the fish. Forgive me for all the sounds around me. I'm doing water changes on the pond, the 90 gallon and 75 gallon that you can see. So I've got a pile of rocks over there with some driftwood sticking out. Then over here we've got more slate rock, a pretty big hole back there for them. It's hard to capture. I'll have to do underwater shots too, and there's a cave right there for them. So I'm going to start introducing fish. I'm not sure how I'm going to film that, but we're going to figure it out. I will try my best. First one out of the pond is my albino. Yep. And right down to the log. Ooh, that's gonna be nice. And then this is the original albino from the tank. You're holding your cell phone. Stop it. So my original one's on top, and the one that came with the tank is on the bottom. It was a smidgen smaller. Don't know what that means. Now we got the first Synodontis cat. And away he goes. Feather fin number 2. Whoop. And away you go. And then feather fin number 3. Whoop. There he goes. Alright, they're all in now. The 2 males are over in this corner for a second. Now, they were the first 2 I put in, and they went over there and they stayed. And then the females, they came up over here. There's 4 females, 3 of them, 1 just bit babies, 2 weren't holding, 1 still holding. They were still in egg yolk form, so I left her in her mouth. She can have her first batch of babies in here, and then the plan is I'll just net babies out of here eventually, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not really going to try to net the parents. I'm going to wave the other camera. You can pretty much see to the other end. So as far as I know, he's a pretty old fish. And he was wild caught. I'm not entirely sure what happened. My guess is that he had parasites really bad from being wild. And then it wasn't treated properly right away. And so it caused a deformity in his spine at a young age, and it just kept going. I'm excited about the secondary male. He's beautiful. He's going to live his life in here. I'm not going to separate him. I don't feel like putting him outside the colony. He does just fine. It's probably not best practice for breeding. I'll admit that. But it is what it is. Oh, there's one of the females popping out. Second female. There we go. We're getting the whole colony together now. And the kitty fish. There's one more, but we might not see her because she's holding. Oh yeah. There we go. He's out adventuring now. He's finding his cave. Wow, it's really yellow in the video. Kind of is in person too. It was not my intention to do a tannin water tank with them. pH is at 8, so despite the driftwood. It also hasn't had time to soak in, so I'll have to monitor it. Definitely is not a standard Frontosa tank. Ooh, here they all come. The gang's all here, guys. Even the holding female came out. I believe it's that one right there that's still holding. That's awesome. Look at that beast! Yes, there we go. The colony is working out now. The two males up front, the females are back swarming the log. Little hierarchy statures. I'd say they're very much happy with their setup now. They're cruising all over nice and peacefully. Nobody's breathing heavy. They're all exploring. Sometimes they act like, I hear they act like Oscars, where they kind of mope around afterwards, or if they've been stressed too much, they will be upset with each other and fight each other, and all sorts of things. Typical cichlid behavior when you do big moves on big fish. But I feel like I've done really well at getting them into this tank, transported around. It's been a week and a half process of bringing them home, acclimating them here in the 40 gallons, and then setting this tank up, getting the cycle going, draining it again so that way I can get the scape in. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. There's two albino plecos I only found 3 of the feather fins, but if I find the 4th one, I'll put it in. Otherwise, I'll be on the lookout to grab more feather fins. I ended up turning this wave maker off. They weren't happy with it. In the video of me putting them in, you'll see me point to the camera maybe. I don't know how my editing's going to work, but yeah, they did not like that wave maker, so we're going to have to go with a smaller wave maker. But it still needs something because there's going to be turds in here otherwise. Big boy is so happy. I just put food in, so it's a little mucked up right now. Hopefully we can fill them in some. Fill them all in. They're a little thin. Oh, he's like, you don't get to see the ladies. Thank you all for watching this video. I didn't realize I'm in the middle of editing it right now. I didn't realize it was going to be a 45-minute long video. If you guys watch this far to the end, this is my ender. You guys are troopers. Please, if you could give me a sub, if you could like, comment, find me, it's amazing. I didn't think I'd be making a video this long, but that's what it took. It was the course of 2 days to get this tank done and to get it to where it was at. And this has been a 2-week, almost 14. It's been a 10-day process transporting the fish here, getting the tank here, setting it up, cycling it in. It's been a long journey for these fish, and I already fed them. They've already been eating. They're in this back corner right now behind the plecos. You can see one right there, but they're already eating. They ate day 1 when they came into the 40-gallon holding tanks, and they ate right away in here. They're doing really good. I'm surprised. I didn't think they were going to be able to do it. But, yeah, I don't want to keep adding on to the length of this video. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Cheers. Peace out.